Hello and welcome. My name is Adam Sanchez, joined here by Stephanie Kraft, and you're all joining us for this second installment of our Enlightened Connections video series. And so, Stephanie, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's my pleasure. So the purpose of this video is to get a little bit of a Q&A and meet and greet sort of vibe in terms of, understanding Stephanie a little bit more. So Stephanie, why don't you start by telling us a little bit more about the kind of work that you do?
Okay. Well, I do several things. I'll start off, I'll just list them one at a time. One of the main things that I do is energy healing. So I have my own healing modality. I guess you could call it a modality, even though it's not a modality. It's just pure energy healing. And so it's really just allowing the energy to flow through me and to my clients. And I discovered that I had this gift back. Well, I had been trained in Reiki in 2001 and 2002, and I started teaching Reiki in 2002. I taught it for about 14 years, and I was doing it with clients for a number of years. And then probably in around 2006 or 7, I started experimenting by not doing Reiki and just putting my hands on clients to allow whatever this natural healing gift that I have to flow through me. And what I found was that it felt to me like way more powerful than Reiki energy. And actually, I had a friend do like consciousness calibration testing. This is David Hawkins' work, and he has that consciousness calibration scale. And she had someone who's very good at testing the levels of consciousness, and my healing energy came out above unconditional love. And actually Reiki is below that. So what I was feeling flowing through my body really was more powerful, and that was confirmed. That actually blew my mind, because how can anything be above unconditional love? But if you look at that scale, people who don't know what I'm talking about, you can just put in a search for consciousness calibration, David Hawkins, and you'll see the scale I'm talking about online. But so I don't understand how it works, but my energy healing is extremely powerful, and it heals people on all levels: emotional, mental, physical, spiritual. So people can come have sessions with me for anything: relationship issues, mental, emotional, physical healings. And I do sessions with people all around the world. So if people are not local, I'm 30 minutes outside of Washington, D.C. in the Fairfax, Virginia area. Technically, my office is in Burke, Virginia. So I do sessions in person, but I also do even more sessions internationally or throughout the U.S. So people, I do sessions on Skype or FaceTime or the phone. And whether the sessions are in person or from a distance, there's no difference in effectiveness, because, well, the feedback from my clients is that they heal. And it blows my mind. It's really pretty amazing. And I can feel it. I'm an empathic healer. So what that means is I can feel in my body what's going on with my client, and I'm helping them clear issues and heal everything. And when I'm doing a session, my higher self is speaking through me, and also I am able to connect with my client's higher self. So I'll, tell them what their higher self is saying to give them guidance or messages, or I'll just channel their higher self and provide the guidance, the messages, any recommendations that they need, or how to get better, more on their path. I mean, really anything. So I offer those sessions in 30, 60, and 90 minutes, and people can book them directly on my website, which is stephaniekraft.com. The other thing that I do is hypnotherapy, and I only do hypnotherapy in person at my office. And hypnotherapy, I started that in 2004, and that I do past life regression. I do a lot of spiritually oriented hypnotherapy where I help people connect with their higher self. I do higher self communication hypnotherapy where I help the person merge with their soul or their higher self and then have their higher self speak through them. And I also do life between lives hypnotherapy, which takes the person through a past life and into another, or at the end of that life, leaving the body and going into their soul state and exploring their lives as a soul in between lifetimes. And there they can get a lot of questions answered, have spiritual healing. It's pretty mind-blowing. I've been doing that work since 2007, so 11 years. That work is through the Michael Newton Institute. So I was trained by Michael Newton and the Newton Institute. And he wrote the books Journey of Souls and Destiny of Souls. So people might be familiar with that if they've read a lot of spiritual books. But if not, and if anybody who's watching wants one of those sessions, you can go on to the Newton Institute. It's the Michael Newton Institute for Life Between Lives Hypnotherapy. And you can go on their website and look for a practitioner anywhere that you are in the world. And, but getting back to like the regular hypnotherapy I do, those sessions are offered usually in 90 minutes. I mean, I do offer an hour, but most 99% of the people come in for the 90-minute session because I work on, stress reduction, trauma. I do a lot of work with helping people release and heal from trauma. Everything, really literally anything you can ever imagine or think of that you would want help with, you can do with hypnotherapy. It's pretty amazing. And then the other big part of my work is working with twin flames, twin souls, and I do this worldwide as well. And these are also energy healing sessions. And again, higher self communication. I will tune into your higher self, your twin's higher self, bring those messages forward, do energy healing for both of you, and help you navigate the path. And a lot of times people want to come to me for as if I'm a psychic reader. I'm not. So I want to make that clear. Like, I don't predict the future. I don't tell people about the future. I only work in the now moment. I clear and help and heal and guide everyone in the now. We only always have the now. So I work with the now. But there is an interesting story about the other thing that I do. So I have this company. I'll pick one of my products to show, but I have this company called Radiant Sun Botanicals. And what I do is I make natural body care products, and I infuse them with essential oils and my energy healing. This is the body butter. I'll just show you pictures so you guys can see like what it's called. Some people are visual, so you might remember the name better if you see it. But I want to tell you the story about how this happened, because this is pretty miraculous. So in 2014, I had a client come in for Life Between Lives hypnotherapy session. I had never met her before, and okay, so this is kind of a little side note, but if anybody has watched my first video with Adam, we talked about twin flames and twin souls. I talked about how this woman came in and her soul was speaking through her and told us that she and I had been the same person in 21 lifetimes and that we were from the same soul. Well, this is the same lady I'm talking about, the same session. So in that session, her soul is speaking through her and then starts talking to me and says, you're going to be rubbing something on people's arms. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Because that's what massage therapists do and I'm thinking, I'm just an energy healer. I just have this energy healing flowing through me and I don't even have to touch a person, for it to work. So, this is what was going through my mind. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm not. And she said, this, whatever this substance is, has a golden energy, and it's part of your healing work, and it's going to heal people. So I forgot all about that because I wasn't going to do it. And then a year and a half later, I was looking online, buying my shampoo, toothpaste, and stuff on, because I buy all that stuff online because I hate shopping. And so I was doing my regular order, and there was this stuff called orange body souffle. And I was like, oh, that sounds really delicious, luscious. So I looked at it, and it had a list of ingredients of like all chemicals. And I'm really sensitive, and I don't use chemicals, and I can't. So I was disappointed. And for some reason, I was drawn to it, even though I never have bought lotion in my life. I've never used lotion. And so it was weird, but I was drawn to this souffle stuff. And so for 2 days, I was thinking about this stuff. It kept popping back up into my mind. So I went back onto the website, and I looked at the that product again. And again, once again, it had the same, chemical ingredients. And I was like, I still can't buy it. And so, but then right in that moment, I had this thought, it was like a bolt of lightning hit me with an entire concept for a company, which was my company, Radiant Sun Botanicals, and that I would make products like that, like, mine's called whipped body butter. And I didn't know what that was, but I went online. So what I did was I put in like body souffle, because I wanted to know like what's really in it if it's made naturally. And what showed up were all these pictures of whipped body butter, and it looked like whipped cream. And I was just like, I fell in love.
It sounds delicious, really.
I wanted to eat it all, but you can't eat it. So I was like, oh, that's when it really hit me that I would make it. And that's how I found out about what whipped body butter was. I didn't really know what it was. And so I felt like, okay, I'm going to make something natural, put essential oils in it, which are so healing, and my energy healing. So the entire concept for the company came in, more products, I had to grab notebooks. I was like channeling, notebooks and notebooks, pages and pages, and literally notebooks and notebooks. I have a stack of notebooks with my recipes and all my products and stuff for days in the beginning, like ideas and recipes, and so much was flooding in. And so I called my friend, the woman who had the hypnotherapy session with me. We had become friends because of that connection. And I called her that day, and I said, guess what I'm doing? I'm doing this company. I'm making these products. I'm putting my energy healing in them. And she said, Stephanie, do you remember my hypnotherapy session with you? And I said, no, I forgot. I remember now, but I had forgotten about that. And so lo and behold, it was my own soul sending me all of it, everything, which is why I had to like take all these notes, because so much was flooding in and how I got the whole concept. So my message to anybody who's watching is, don't ignore these inspired thoughts, because they're coming from somewhere. They want to be birthed out into the world, and they're very guided. And the reason, I've had people use my products. I had a woman use my body butter, and she said, with tears in her eyes, she said, this, when I put it on, it feels like it's healing my soul. And I've had other really incredible, I would say miraculous healings. So I want to like show everybody, I have body butter in 8 ounce, 4 ounce, and 2 ounce sizes. You can go on Radiant Sun Botanicals and check them out. But I just want to very quickly share like what I have so people can see it. This is a relaxation massage oil. This is really good for going to sleep at night. You can just rub it on the bottoms of your feet. If you rub any essential oil, which you should always have a carrier oil with it, on the bottoms of your feet, the essential oils will go through your entire body. So that's the best place if you really want to infuse your body with essential oils, is rub it on the bottom of your feet. This is called the Ultimate Muscle Melt. It's a massage oil. This removes pain. I'm not really allowed to say this probably if the FDA ever hears me, which I won't put it out there like on the official stuff, but this removes pain in an instant. And I am not kidding. I am not the only one who has experienced instantaneous muscle or pain relief. It's amazing. And this is, my perfume oil, Love Potion #1. This is so awesome. It smells divine. This has mandarin, jasmine, rose, neroli, sandalwood. It's incredible.
I've actually had the honor of smelling that one, and yes, I concur. It is pretty amazing.
Oh yeah, you almost passed out with ecstasy, right?
Yeah, pretty close.
I changed the name. This is called facial serum, but I actually changed the name to Like a Miracle facial oil. And I have a story about this, but let me go through a couple of things. Seriously silky facial oil. Seriously silky. It's incredible. Anyway, a couple more. Hair oil, amazing. Another face oil. So you can go on my website and check it out. I have scalp oil for like dandruff and hair loss and different things, two different kinds of scalp oil. So those are the products, and I'm always coming out with new ones and more. And here's an interesting thing. Now, this thing is going to happen. I'm going to be on an infomercial for As Seen on TV. So that is going to air in the first quarter of 2019. So who knows when people will be watching this video into the future, but there's going to be a special, it's only going to air in a couple of regions in the country. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about that, but the products are going to get a bit more popular because I'm going to be offering a special deal, and we're going to be highlighting like these 2 facial oils plus body butter. And I'm really blessed for this opportunity. The people from As Seen on TV contacted me, and they asked me if I wanted to participate in their infomercial program. And then after that airs, this can be ongoing for a year, or it will be. I'm going to be on the As Seen on TV website. So my products will be available through them, and then also on my own website. So I'm excited about this because this part of my work, all of my work comes directly from my soul. And this is an extension of it that can be spread out into the world. And it really does raise people's vibrations. I've been told by some angels that my products change people's timelines. How in the world? But anyway, that's probably enough about what I do, but I'm so passionate about what I do. I love every minute of it, all of the type of work I do, energy healing, hypnotherapy, twin flame sessions, and my radiance on botanicals. So I just said everything, but do you have any questions about anything?
No, I think your passion came through pretty clearly on that, and clarified everything that you said so far. And I love that. Well, actually, there's one question that came to mind now that I retraced my mental steps. You mentioned that you don't do the hypnotherapy at a distance, and I know actually a fair amount about this. I do energy healing myself, but I don't do it professionally as part of my services yet. I'm familiar with the concepts, and so the whole distance thing, it's like that quantum entanglement, right? It's like 2 particles can be connected even at vast differences, and science is now showing us that. So I think it's cool that you mentioned that, and so the distance doesn't necessarily matter. And given that I have that understanding, I'm curious, and maybe some of the other people watching the video are curious, why not do the hypnotherapy at a distance? Why is that something that you make a decision on?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question, and so important to explain. There are some hypnotherapists who will do it from a distance. So that would be like Skype. For example, you would have to set up the camera where the client is lying down and the camera is you can see the client, because we have to be watching our client the whole time with hypnotherapy, and where the audio is good and the technology is good, the connection. So some people do that. I'm not willing to do that. I have done it, and I didn't like it, and I'll tell you a few reasons. Number one is technology. That's not number one, but one of the reasons is, connectivity. Also audio. I couldn't hear very well when my client was speaking. I have done a successful session. I did an incredible past life regression on Skype once, but this was with somebody that was a very close friend, and we had talked for so many hours. But anyway, the main reason besides technology is that as for hypnotherapy, we are guiding somebody into an altered state of consciousness. And it takes the hypnotherapist, we have to monitor their level depth of hypnosis. And one of the signs of hypnosis is the fluttering of eyelashes, which you can't really see through a monitor. And usually you're not going to have the camera right up right
to their face.
Their eyes, right? And we have to watch the breathing. So many things. And touch is very important for hypnotherapy. Now, not everybody's going to always use touch in every session, but we use touch to deepen, to do inductions. There are a lot of inductions that involve touching your client on the wrist, on the shoulder, on the forehead, and they work incredibly well to help the person go deeper. Even a technique of touching the third eye to improve clarity for a vision. And so, oh gosh, there are so many reasons that you really want to have hypnotherapy as a client done in person. I would not recommend doing it from a distance. Now, there might be a whole group of people who say, I've had a great session that way, but for my integrity in this profession with hypnotherapy, I'm not willing to lower my standards, and I'm not willing to hypnotize a person from a distance, because really you want to be right there with them, watching them. Also with hypnotherapy, people can relive a lot of trauma, and you really want to be there with your client to help them through anything that they're going through under hypnosis. It's so unpredictable. We don't always know where they're going to go or what's going to happen. The feeling of safety increases when you're with them and in person for both sides. Any other questions about that?
No, sure. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Actually, I think everybody would probably agree that it's nicer to have that in-person connection, and that the distance stuff is just really great in terms of convenience or sake of ease. But, if we were all teleporting already, we could have in-person sessions for everything. How great that would be.
Yeah. And I think for people who do in-person distance sessions, it's really important to build a rapport and maybe really know that person well, or have a lot of conversations building up to it. I mean, it just doesn't feel natural or right to just dive right into it from with technology. I just wouldn't do it. I've tried it with a few different people. I didn't really like it.
No, that's a good answer. Very clear. Thank you.
Yeah.
So I have some other questions for you, if that's okay.
Sure.
So what kinds of things actually you did answer this one already. What kind of things can you help in a hypnotherapy session? Pretty much everything.
I think everything under the sun, Yeah. It's amazing.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And, maybe you could talk a little bit more about the life between lives hypnotherapy as it's distinct from the regular therapy. I know you kind of touched upon that, but then also, how and what are the twin flame healing sessions like? What is that? Are they connected? I mean, how do those two things show up in your practice?
Yeah. So life between lives hypnotherapy sessions are 3 to 4 hour sessions.
Wow.
Yes. And the thing is that, you're taking a person through we take them through into the womb before they're born. This is when they're still in their soul state. So when a baby is in the womb, they haven't crossed over into this world yet. They're actually still on the other side, because when we're born, the veil of forgetfulness comes up and we are like, where am I? And what is this place? Because I, was in a really cozy, warm, dark. Exactly. I always feel sorry for newborn babies. Oh my gosh. So in the womb, they're still in their soul state. So when I guide the client down to that time, I get to ask them, why did you choose this lifetime? Why did you choose this family? What are you here to learn? What is your purpose? What is your mission? What are you working on as a soul? Have you ever been here before? Is this your first lifetime on Earth? How many lifetimes have you ever had on Earth? Have you lived on other planets? Where have you lived? So a lot of the questions get answered in the womb. If not, and also they can pick up on their mother's emotions and what's going on with their family. Like these babies in the womb, we can't call them babies because we're talking about the soul. They know everything that's going on. It's fascinating. Most people don't realize that about their child in the womb. I've had a lot of experience in that realm because I used to teach hypnobirthing for 10 years, which is hypnosis to prepare for a natural or a more relaxed childbirth. So a lot of my work has been revolved around souls, preparing them to come into this world, helping the mother get through it, and then souls on the other side. It's been fascinating. So in the life between life session, then they cross over and they can visit other lifetimes and visit their soul state. But what I'm finding is that but as we know, consciousness on the planet has really been expanding over the years exponentially, really. And even though I said those sessions are 3 to 4 hours, what I'm finding is that people who want those kinds of sessions, they come in for a 90-minute session to prepare. And I wouldn't recommend just going straight for Life Between Lives because it's like 3 or 4 hours. It's several $100s. You want to really practice with hypnotherapy first. And most hypnotherapists will require an initial session to make sure you go under hypnosis and build the rapport and don't waste your money and all of that. So what I'm finding is that when my clients come in for the initial 90-minute session, if they are looking toward doing an LBL, very much lately within the past 2 or 3 months, I'm just going straight for the LBL. Now, I'm not always telling everybody that, but it's working. And it's happening easily and quickly, and we get all their questions answered in that time frame. So I believe that this is because the consciousness has expanded, the vibration has raised enough for us to get there more quickly. People are accessing that level more easily now, I think.
Sure.
Yeah, and you asked me about the twin flames. Oh boy, that's a whole big topic. Now, we did a video on that already, our first video. So if people are really interested in that, they can go back to that video. But also, I have a YouTube channel. It's under my name, Stephanie Kraft. And I have a lot of videos on there about twin flames. I would really just direct people to the YouTube channel and my website, stephaniekraft.com, and explore.
So, but wait, when you say that you offer twin flame healing sessions, what does that look like?
Yeah, that looks like people who are going through that journey will, first I'll say, give me your story, tell me what's going on. They'll share everything, a lot. And then it's an energy healing session. So I'll be able to clear their blocks, their fears, their wounds, everything that comes up to the surface for healing, and talk to their higher selves, give them their messages from their higher self, from their twin's higher self. I a lot of times end up doing healing for the twin, who usually is also not in great shape emotionally or whatever, because it's a hard journey to go through. And so it's really a session for both of them and to help them navigate it's usually individual, but it ends up healing both. And I help my client navigate this journey and really find out why they met, what's the purpose, why they're on this journey. And most people want to know if they're going to be together, things like that. 9 times out of 10, no, they're not, because that's not the whole purpose of twin flames. Twin flames are really catalysts for each other, for growth and learning and support and love, but they're not always like the fairy tale romantic idea. At this point, I mean, maybe we're moving toward healing so much and clearing so much that humanity is going to get ready for the next level of divine sacred partnerships. But we aren't seeing a whole lot of that on the planet yet. But we must be preparing for that with these twin flame relationships, which are clearing out all the debris and the distortions that humanity has been through, and healing the wounding between the masculine and feminine, and dysfunctions along family lines, things like that. And so twin flames are playing a really huge role in, as I call it, like the ground crew, cleanup crew for humanity. And that's why it's so hard. But I think I can see the shift where people are really ready. They're healing, they're moving on more quickly, and they're ready for the next level, which I think, like I said, it's more of a sacred divine partnership that we're headed towards.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Well, something to look forward to.
Yes.
Great. So I think we, covered a lot of great stuff here. Is there anything else that you'd like to add before we finish up?
No, but I am I'm planning to add like conference calls, more group healing things, programs like that. So I would say, like, if anybody's interested in any of my work, send me an email so I can get you on my newsletter list so that you can hear announcements about like what I'm offering to groups, more private, small groups, like teleconference, webinars, things like that. But don't worry, I don't send out a lot of newsletters, so you're not going to be bombarded if you decide you want to get on that list. And so my website is stephaniekraft.com, and my email is stephaniecraft444@gmail.com, but that's also on my website.
Cool. Like that 444. Yeah. So I think that's an excellent wrap up for today. Thank you, Stephanie Kraft, so much for sharing your beautiful light and love and work with us here on this video call.
Oh, thank you so much, Adam. It was so much fun chatting with you again. And I know that you and I will do this again very soon and chat some more.
Yeah. Looking forward to it. All right. Blessings, Stephanie.
Blessings to you. Bye-bye.